Are you ready to uncover the shocking truth about lost nuclear bombs? Join us as we uncover the mysterious incidents of Broken Arrow accidents, where U.S. nuclear bombs were lost and never found. From the Palomares incident to the Tybee Island crash, we'll explore how these bombs disappeared and the ongoing efforts to locate them. Will we ever uncover the truth about these missing weapons of mass destruction? Tune in to find out. The U.S. has lost more than 3 nuclear bombs that have never been found and are still in unknown locations. How did this occur? Where are they now? And will we ever be able to locate them? In January 1966, newspapers around the world had been reporting rumors of a frightening incident, where 2 U.S. military planes had crashed into each other in midair and scattering 4 thermonuclear bombs across Palomares. 3 of the 4 bombs were quickly found on land, but one had disappeared into the southeast, lost to the bottom of Mediterranean Sea. Now the search was on to find it. The bomb had a 1.1 megaton warhead, which is equal to 1,100,000 tons of TNT. The Palomares incident is not the only case in which a nuclear weapon has been lost. There have been around 32 so-called Broken Arrow accidents since 1950. In some cases, the weapons were dropped mistakenly or during an emergency, but recovered after. But 3 bombs have gone missing altogether alone in the U.S. while they're still in unknown places under the seas, or lands. Many of those incidents happened during the Cold War, when the U.S. was engaged in mutually assured destruction with the Soviet Union. During that period, both superpowers kept airplanes armed with nuclear weapons in the sky at all times from 1960 to 1968, in an operation known as Chrome Dome. The Soviet Union's nuclear past is not as transparent as the U.S. It had a huge nuclear arsenal of 45,000 weapons as of 1986. There are known cases where the country lost nuclear bombs that have never been recovered, but unlike the U.S. incidents, they all happened on submarines and their locations are known if not reachable. One incident happened on April 8, 1970, when a fire started and spread in a Soviet K-8 nuclear-powered submarine while it was diving in the Bay of Biscay in the northeast Atlantic Ocean, which is off the coasts of Spain and France, where it is known for its violent storms and where many ships and submarines have sunk in that location. That particular submarine had 4 nuclear torpedoes on board, and it sank, with all 4 nuclear torpedoes. Until today, the U.S. 3 lost hydrogen bombs and, at the least, a number of Soviet torpedoes are still at the bottom of the seas, though they have largely been forgotten. Why haven't we found all these rogue weapons yet? Is there a risk of them exploding? And will we ever get them back? Multiple efforts to recover the hydrogen bomb, which is near Palomares, were unsuccessful, including one attempt to lift it up using a small submarine called Alvin. The recovery attempt failed since there was a drag parachute still attached to the bomb, and it slowed down the lifting procedure. Eventually it got detached from the submarine and fell down to a deeper seabed this time. Another incident happened on February 5, 1958. A 7,600-pound Mark 15 thermonuclear weapon was loaded onto B-47 bomber, which was about to join another B-47 on a long training mission. The idea was to simulate an attack on the Soviet Union, substituting the U.S. town of Radford, Virginia, for Moscow. The pilots took off from Florida and proceeded their way to their target, as a way of testing their ability to fly with the heavy weapons on board for hours at a time. On the way back to the base, the planes encountered another group of planes which were in training mission in South Carolina. This group's plan was to intercept one of the B-47s, but there was a confusion, and they didn't notice the second one, which was carrying the nuclear weapon. As a result of the crash, the B-47 carrying the nuclear bomb was damaged. The pilot decided to drop the nuclear bomb into the water, then make an emergency landing. The bomb fell down 30,000 feet into the water around Tybee Island, and even this impact didn't detonate it. In fact, none of the 32 Broken Arrow accidents, which is another name for nuclear weapons mishaps, have ever led to a detonation of nuclear components, although 2 have contaminated a wide area with radioactive material. Most experts believe it is unlikely that we will ever find the 3 missing nuclear bombs. This is partly down to the same reasons they weren't found in the first place. They're usually found via visual search, and this is extremely difficult under water surface. When planes crash into the sea, the black box is often found days or weeks later due to the fact that they send an electronic pulse or beacon, which makes the recovery operation much easier. But in case of lost nuclear weapons, there is no beacon, and the only way to locate them is to search seabed inch by inch. An alternative would be to look for spikes in radiation, as the recovery team did in case of Tybee bomb. But this is also extremely tricky, mainly because nuclear bombs are not actually particularly radioactive. They're designed not to be a radioactive threat to the people handling them, Therefore, they don't have a radioactive signature. Promising news is that the potential risk of those lost bombs causing a nuclear explosion is thought to be low. However, the possibility is always there. And although such incidents rarely happen in the recent decades, the traces of Cold War nuclear mishaps will be at the bottom of the oceans forever. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you found this video interesting.